Flip-hand phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
In the first few weeks of the 2022 college football season, there's been a lot of players that have been straight up balling out. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about college football players that deserve more respect on their name because of the way they're performing, or at least starting off their 22 campaigns. As usual, before I move on, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. The first player that I'm going to be talking about in today's video is Clemson quarterback DJ Uiagalelei. Out of all the players I'm going to be talking about in today's video, DJ is a player I believe does need some more respect on his name when you're talking about his 22 performance up to this point. As in 2021, everyone knows he was pretty disappointing. He threw for slightly over 2,000 yards, completed 55% of his passes, 9 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions on the season, along with 4 rushing touchdowns. It was a year that people expected him to be a Heisman contender, and to potentially even be a Heisman finalist, and he was just far off from that. And all offseason long, people talked about Clemson and DJ, how DJ's job wasn't safe, and that the true freshman quarterback Cade Klubnik may take his job during the 22 season. It was even a hot discussion week 1 when Clemson took on Georgia Tech, and Cade Klubnik came in, and people were already raving about him being better than DJ. However, looking at DJ's start for 2022, that quarterback spot is his, and people need to acknowledge that he's off to a good start for 2022. In 4 games played for Clemson, he's 4-0, of course, for the season with his team, but he's completing 64% of his passes, has already thrown for 1,033 yards, 10 touchdowns, compared to only 1 interception. He also has 1 touchdown on the ground. The biggest thing with DJ this season is, yes, he's a lot more of an accurate passer. He already has more touchdowns this season in 4 games played than he did last season in 13 games played. And of course, he's not turning the ball over as much. Only 1 turnover with an interception in 4 games. Sticking with the quarterback position for this next player, I'm going to be talking about quarterback Michael Penix. Michael Penix is a starting quarterback for Washington, and he was formerly at Indiana before transferring to Washington for the 2022 college football season. And he's off to a fast start. As in 4 games played, he's completed 64% of his passes, has thrown for 1,388 yards, 12 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. When you're talking about all the quarterbacks in college football right now, Michael Penix is definitely in top 10 with play for all the quarterbacks on the FBS Division I level. He's efficient, he's playing at a very good level, and he's really changing the way this Washington squad is viewed. As heading into the season, nobody really expected Washington to be that good. They expected them to be a bowl team, but kind of be a mediocre team at that, but they're 4-0. They're a top 25 team. They're averaging 44 points a game, and their defense, it looks good. Some may say right now, Washington is a sleeper for the Pac-12 conference. Nobody's really expecting them to win, but if they keep up this play, they're definitely going to be in contention. And Michael Penix is someone that deserves a lot more respect on his name, with not only his play, but the way he's able to change teams. Next up, I'm going to be taking a look at a true freshman running back from Ole Miss, Quinshon Judkins. In the college football offseason heading into 2022, the story that a lot of people talked about was the offseason that Ole Miss had, especially in the transfer portal. And to take a deeper look at it, I'm going to be talking about the running back position since Judkins is a running back. They landed 2 great running backs in the portal that were Zach Evans, which many people believe is a top running back in college football, and someone that I believe is very underrated from SMU, Ulysses Bentley IV. But Quinshon Judkins has completely broken out and has just taken over these first few games for the Rebels. As in 4 games played, he already leads the team in rushing attempts, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns. As he has 70 rushing attempts, 429 rushing yards, averaging 6 yards per carry, and 5 total touchdowns on the ground in the first 4 games played this season. If he keeps up this production, he's not only going to be a freshman All-American, but he's going to be seen as one of the best running backs in the nation. If you catch any Ole Miss football games this season, keep a lookout for number 4 on offense, Quinshon Judkins. Staying in the SEC for this next player, I'm going to be taking a look at linebacker Drew Sanders from Arkansas. This is Drew Sanders' first season at Arkansas and his first season as a starting linebacker. The past couple years he was a backup at Alabama, and now with Arkansas in 2022, he is having a breakout campaign already in his first year as a starter. As in 4 games played, he has 32 total tackles, 16 of them being solo, 7 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, 2 pass deflections, and 2 forced fumbles. Drew Sanders is playing at an All-American level right now and like one of the best defensive players in the nation. Drew Sanders was a highly touted recruit coming out of high school, and he was one of the most highly touted defensive players in the portal for 2022, and he's showing why, especially with the performance that he's having right now, looking like one of the best players in his position early on. Transitioning into the next player, I'm going to be taking a look at a quarterback that's completely balling out right now and having a great start to the season along with his team, the Kansas Jayhawks, Jalen Daniels. Looking at some of the top quarterbacks in college football right now, you have to look at Jalen Daniels, and you have to give respect for what he's doing, especially Kansas football in general, since they're 4-0, and Jalen Daniels is a big reason why. He is the quarterback after all. 4 games in, he's completed 71% of his passes, has thrown for 890 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 1 interception. On the ground, he's been very efficient as well, as in 4 games played, he's rushed for 326 yards, averaging 9 yards per carry, roughly, and has a total of 4 touchdowns on the ground, bringing his all-purpose touchdown total to 15 total touchdowns on the season. He's playing at an unreal level, and Kansas is looking like a great team, and one that's going to give a lot of Big 12 teams a lot of fits, and is one that is looking especially well for a team that is already 4-0 and shapes to be a bold team potentially to close out 2022. And Jalen Daniels is a big reason for their success, and that's a quarterback that's putting up some Heisman-like numbers in the first few weeks, and if he keeps it up, a lot of people are going to know the name Jalen Daniels. The last player that I'm going to be talking about in today's video is wide receiver from SMU, Rashee Rice. Rice is off to an incredibly great start for SMU to start off 2022. He leads the nation in receiving yards, as in 4 games played. He has 34 receptions for 565 yards, averaging nearly 17 yards a reception, and a total of 4 touchdowns through the air. He's always been a good receiver at SMU, as in 2020 and 2021, he had back-to-back seasons of 600-plus yard receiving seasons. And right now in 2022, this is his best start he's ever had in his career, and it's shaping to be a big season for him, as he shapes to be one of the best receivers in all of college football right now. Well guys, if you made this far in the video, drop something down in the comment section below of college football players you believe deserve more respect on their name for their performances in this early part of 2022. And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. Be Kelly out.